So we decided what better thing to do on a rainy afternoon than take a safari ride. Come along with us.
My name is Katie. I'll be your safari guide today. As a quick reminder for your safety, please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the truck at all times. It gets pretty bumpy out there. We don't want to lose anyone. This is a great time to get those cameras out and ready to go. We won't be able to stop for every animal that we see, but I'll do my best to get us some good pictures. The stripes help them blend into their surroundings. They're blending in so well, they weren't discovered by Western civilization until 1901. Before that, okapis were considered a myth. It looks like there's a rhino coming out to join us up there on your left. We'll try to get a little bit closer to them here in a second.
I saw.
Looks like that rhino kind of went around the corner. We'll try to catch up. Hopefully they're still there. It was a black rhino. They weigh about 3,000 pounds. They have a pointed prehensile upper lip so they can grab onto bushes and leaves. There they are. Head towards that cliff. Sadly, at one point there were only 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. They got poached for their horns. Some people believed there was medicinal quality to their horns, but research proved that to be completely false. It's actually made of keratin, which is just the same thing that makes up your hair. Started spreading that information around. The numbers are close to double what they were. Yeah. Keep looking down here on the left. The two black and white birds are saddle-billed storks. They can grow 5 feet tall and have a 9-foot wingspan. They don't really vocalize, instead they rattle their bills to communicate. And those kind of lighter gray animals are greater kudu. Only males have horns, and those are females. The male's horns can grow to be about 5 to 6 feet long. Alright, let's go take a look at these Safi rivers, see if we can find some aquatic animals. They'll most likely be underwater, so just keep a lookout for ripples and bubbles to tell us where they are. Couple of grayish white birds down there on the island. Those are pink-backed pelicans. They get that name because of the pink on their back. It gets brighter during mating season. Their wingspan is about 9 feet wide, which is almost the same width as the canopy above them. Let's take a look around the corner, see what else we can find. I see some hippos up ahead. I see a bubble. Well, hippos can hold their breath for several minutes at a time. They can sleep underwater, give birth underwater, nurse underwater, all without having to come up for air for a little while. Their body subconsciously moves to the surface, grabs a breath, and then heads back under. We're just going around the corner here. Let's see if we can catch up to them. Hippos are nocturnal animals, so one of the only times you see them out of the water is at night. They go up onto the shore, walk about 5 miles in search of food, and then they head back into the water. There's one down there by the waterfalls. Each hippo has a unique wheeze honk sound they use to communicate. The more dominant the hippo, the more responses that they get.
That big ginormous one.
Yeah. Walk across the bridge.
There's a tour you can do that will do that.
Really?
Yes.
Alright, let's leave the river behind and head into the savannah. We'll see a bit of a difference in the vegetation. It's going to be a lot more open, a lot less trees. Animals over here rely on speed and agility to evade their predators, so it might be a little bit easier to find them. Marking the entrance of the savannah is going to be this baobab tree coming up on our right. It's also known as an upside-down tree. You can kind of see why. It looks like it's been planted with roots up in the air. It'll go 9 months out of the year leafless, storing all of the excess water inside of its trunk, which has kind of a spongy texture instead of normal tree trunk. During a drought, some of the animals will scrape off the bark to get to the water inside, which is why it goes by another name that you might have heard of before. It's called the Tree of Life.
I see those things.
Looks like there are some Ankoli cattle up ahead. Their horns aren't as heavy as they look. They have a honeycomb-like structure inside, along with blood vessels flowing through. They'll actually pump the blood up into their horns. It cools down faster up there, and then it goes right back into their body. It's like having air conditioning on top of your head. They're also called Watusi cattle, after the tribe that first domesticated them. It was the Watusi tribe. In some cultures, they're a sign of wealth. The more cows that you own, the wealthier you are. There's a den over here on the left. And some African painted dogs taking a little nap in there. They're really great pack hunters. They work well in teams led by an alpha male and an alpha female. They make decisions together. Even though they're called painted dogs, they're part of the canid family, not the canine. So they only have 4 toes instead of 5, like domesticated dogs. They don't really bark either. They kind of make a squeaking sound instead. Keep looking over here on our left. We're going to see a brown animal. That is a sable antelope. Both the males and females will have those horns that are curved back like that to protect themselves from predators. They will also have a male and female leader, but the female leader makes most of their decisions. If they have noticed these reddish-brown mounds we're passing, these are termite mounds. They're mostly made up of dirt, saliva, and dung. They'll bake in the sun, they can be as hard as concrete. Some of the bigger animals will rub against them, wear them down enough so that the smaller animals can use them as a perch. Look into that tall grass and see if there are any predators after them. Looks like there's a giraffe up on top of the hill. If you look up there on your left, you can just see him past the bushes.
Sit down.
Try to find some more. A large group of giraffes is called a tower, which is a pretty fitting name for them. Fully grown, they're 18 feet tall. When they're first born, they're already 6 feet tall. As tall as they are, they only have 7 vertebrae in their neck, which is the same amount that we have. There's a herd of wildebeest over there on your right. Wildebeest form the second most densely populated mammals on Earth, second only to humans. And they'll migrate a few times throughout the year, sometimes forming groups of about 1.5 million. Travel 500 to 1,000 miles altogether. It's called the Great Migration. It happens every year. And groups their size are bound to have some stragglers. To help out those wildebeest, they have scent glands in their hooves. So if anyone gets left behind, they can just follow the scent back to the herd. A couple of Hartman's mountain zebras up here as well. There's a few ways we can tell what species they are. The stripes on their back legs get a little bit wider than other species. Their hoofs tend to be on the smaller side so they can climb on the mountains easier. But most telling is if you look underneath their neck, there's a little bit of extra skin there. It's called a dewlap. It helps them regulate their body temperature, keeps them cooler throughout the day. And they're the only species of zebra with that dewlap. Each zebra stripes are unique to that zebra. It's kind of like a fingerprint. When a baby is born, they imprint on their mom so they can find her no matter where she is in the dazzle. It looks like we found the rest of the tower up here as well. We got a pretty good look at the baby giraffe up here. Giraffes will spend most of their day eating, only going about 30 minutes every day sleeping. Not even at the same time. They break it up into a few minutes here and there. For the most part, they stay standing. It's very rare that we see a giraffe laying down on the ground. It makes them too vulnerable to predators. I'm seeing some knocked down trees up ahead, which could mean some elephants in the area. Let's go check it out. There's a mandrill checking us out over there on your left. right behind those trees. They're the largest species of monkey. A fully grown male weighs about 100 pounds. They have pouches in their cheeks that can hold a whole stomach's worth of food for later. Oh, there's an elephant back there on your right too. You can just see them past the cliff.
Oh, there's an elephant. There's an elephant.
Kind of hard to see back there. Elephants have more muscles in their trunk alone than we do in our entire body. And it's a prehensile nose, so they can grab onto their food.
There's that monkey.
A quick glimpse of them back there. They have a pattern of blood vessels on their ears, so if they get really hot, they just start flapping their ears back and forth. Because the air circulating back there cools them down pretty fast. Unfortunately, both the mandrills and the elephants are facing habitat loss due to coltan mining. Coltan is just a substance we use in our cell phones and other electronics. So if we upgrade to a new cell phone, we just recycle the old one, we can really cut back the need for coltan and help protect these animals' homes. We found some red clay pits down here. Another great way to tell if there are any more elephants in the area. They'll scrape up the clay with their tusks and then they'll eat it to supplement their diet. Lots of vitamins and minerals they can't find anywhere else. There's some fresh tusk marks in the clay. And some footprints down here as well. There could be a herd that just passed through. Keep a lookout for them. A fully grown male elephant weighs about 13,000 pounds. Females are anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. But every elephant eats 4 to 6% of their body weight every single day, which is a ton of food. Farmers are having some difficulties with the elephants getting into their crops for a free buffet. So they partnered up with researchers and they found out the elephants were afraid of bees. They set up bee boxes around their farms. Elephants have incredible hearing, so they could pick up on the bees buzzing from far away. They just avoided that area entirely. So not only did the farmers get to keep all of their crops, but the elephants were safe from human population. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone. I saw one moving down here through the water. Keep an eye out for them. Moving behind the trees back there. The herd of elephants is led by the oldest and usually largest female, called the matriarch. She knows where all the watering holes are, all the places to get food, what places to avoid due to predators. And they'll pass on all of that knowledge to the next matriarch. Kind of hide behind that bamboo back there.
Way back there.
But there are some greater flamingos up ahead. In large groups, they're called flamboyants, so it's a flamboyance of flamingos. Greater flamingos are the largest species of flamingo. They're also the least pink. They get that pink coloration from beta-carotene found in brine, shrimp, and other foods in their diet. Now, they're pretty unique birds. Other birds will migrate with the seasons, and as long as they have food and clean water, flamingos pretty much stay in the same place their entire life. Elephants are coming out this way.
Yeah.
Okay, come here for a second.
Oh, there's the elephants, honey. Yeah. There's a baby elephant between them, Jason.
Looks like we found some rhinos hanging out here. Rhinos like to roll around in that mud a couple times throughout the day, keeps them cooler. Also acts as a bug protection for them. Those are white rhinos. Weigh about 4,000 to 6,000 pounds, a little bit bigger than the black rhino we saw before. But they can still run 35 miles per hour. Maybe going at a gallop like a horse, so all 4 of their feet could be off the ground at once. White rhinos got their name from a misinterpretation of the Afrikaans word "white," meaning wide, referring to their wide mouth. People misheard it. They thought they were saying white. They just kind of stuck. copia back here, but there's one up ahead that's actually moving around. Or it was a second ago. We'll get a better look at that one. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal, going 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds. They have semi-retractable claws, giving them extra traction to get them up to speed. Their tail acts as a rudder to change direction while they're running. But they're not the most powerful cats, so they can only keep that speed for a couple hundred yards before they have to stop. They have 2 black teardrop markings going down the sides of their nose, helps keep the sunlight out of their eyes. That comes in really handy because unlike a lot of large cats, cheetahs will hunt during the day for less competition. So copia up ahead, that's that rock formation. A lot of big cats like to use this as a lookout point over the savannah. We'll see if anyone's moved in today. Yeah, some lions have taken over. Gonna get us around the corner. We'll get a better look at them there. There's an ostrich peeking up over that rock over there on your right. They're the largest bird, but they can't fly. They just use their wings to help guide them while they're running, kind of like cheetahs using their tail. They can run about 40 miles per hour. They're great. Look at these lions. They will rest for most of the day, saving all of their energy when they go hunting. One of the only big cats that form prides and hunt cooperatively. The females will do the majority of the hunting, while the males will stay back and protect their pride. During the day, their eyesight is about the same as a human's. Once it gets dark, it is 6 times better than ours. A couple of warthogs wait for us up here. Warthogs are the largest burrowing mammal in Africa. They'll use their tusks and their front hooves to dig out those birds, and they back in, showing off their tusks. Keeps them safer from predators. We have 2 sets of tusks. The top are for digging, the bottom are razor sharp, so they use them for defense. Going to be a shaggy brown animal up here on our right. That's a water buck. They have an oily substance in their fur that keeps them somewhat waterproof. Get a great look at these rhinos too. Rhinos don't have the greatest eyesight in the world, but they make up for it with their hearing. If you notice, their ears are kind of swiveling back and forth, making sure we're not a threat. Some ostrich eggs over there on your right. Weigh 3 pounds each, the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs. They're incredibly sturdy. You could stand on one, they wouldn't even break. It does look like we've reached the edge of the reserve. We're going to check in with the warden, see if they've got anything fun going on before we leave. We found some Nigerian dwarf goats. They might look really small, but they are fully grown. That's as big as they get. They have this really sweet milk that they produce. It's pretty high in value. So some farmers have switched over to goat farming. It takes up less space from the wildlife around them.
On the roof. Yeah, no, not in the rain.
They are ruminants, which means they have 4 chambers in their stomach to help them break down some of the tougher vegetation. Takes care of all the weeds for the warden. I did get to see a lot of cool animals out there. One of the biggest problems facing these animals is habitat loss. There's a really easy way for you to help out. You start recycling as much as you can, or make small changes, like getting a reusable water bottle instead of plastic bottles, using beeswax paper instead of cling wrap, bringing your own bags to the grocery store. All really simple things we can do in our everyday lives that can have a big impact in the world around us. If you wanted to do something today, you could always donate to the Disney Conservation Fund. Just go to any of the merchandise locations in Animal Kingdom. It could be as easy as rounding up to the next dollar, or you can donate straight to the Conservation Fund. 100% of the proceeds goes towards protecting animals like we've just seen out there in the wild. And Disney will match your donation dollar for dollar. And if you want to see what kind of projects they're working on, just head to disney.com/conservation. You can see all of the current and past projects, see exactly what you're donating to. Now, friends, here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. It's too final a word. What would you say is Kwaharini, which means to go well. So Kwaharini, everyone. Come back and see us sometime. No two safaris are ever quite the same. The animals make sure of that.